What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Explained. My goal here is to educate and remind you why being a car enthusiast is the best hobby in the world. However, my number one goal is to inspire you to build your automotive dreams. In this episode, we are talking about why the Ricer is an important part of car culture. Okay, so let's dive into it and cue the intro. Alright, so to get started, the first thing we're going to answer is what is Rice? And this is Rice as of the last decade. So if you've been to a car meet, gone on the Facebook, opened up a forum, talked with any other car guy, or perhaps even opened your eyes within the last decade, you've probably heard of the term Rice in reference to the automotive world. All right, so what exactly is Rice? It's an acronym. Rice stands for Race Inspired Cosmetic Enhancement. So you probably hear me say that, and you might be asking yourself, what is that, right? So sure, it's an acronym, but what gets considered Rice? And things like stickers, non-functional hood scoops are a good one. Cold air intakes that are actually hot air intakes, which means that they just collect heat soak and force hot air into the engine bay. The straight pipe can be kind of Rice, cherry bomb, and things like that. Basically, things that are meant to make it seem like you own a race car, but provide no performance enhancement at all. Okay. So, now that we understand what Rice is and what Ricers do, why in the world are they important? It sounds awful, right? That they modify their cars like that. But they're very important because in most cases, Ricers are the beginning generation of a gearhead, right? So, the thing about Rice mods is that they're cheap, right? They're cheap and they're relatively easy to install, and that's what makes them attractive to new automotive enthusiasts, is because they don't really have the knowledge yet to get into doing engine builds and turbo setups and creating monsters on the street, right? They don't have that money or the knowledge, and probably not even the tools to even come close to that. And so when they're just starting, they do what they feel they're capable of, okay? And that is part of why being a Ricer is important. It's that beginning stage. It's seeing whether this hobby is going to be something you can stick around with, which is kind of why it sucks when we give Ricers so much crap all the time. And it's because they're just trying to learn. So, and when I say they're just trying to learn, you got to think about it this way: is this kid just got their first car, right? And they've liked cars growing up, and so they want to be included in part of what they see by doing what they can, right? And they go out to a meet, right? So they show up to a meet, and they've got a straight pipe exhaust on there, and a couple of stickers, and some window tint, and some plastic dipped wheels, right? And what ends up happening is they get made fun of, and that destroys them because they want to be a part of a community, but they don't know how to yet. They don't have the knowledge, and part of our job as more mature enthusiasts is to accept them and kind of help guide them. And outside of guiding them, you have to help them feel as if they're part of the community. Otherwise, the community is going to die, and we can't lose that. So, part of your job, if you are not a Ricer, right? So if you're a little more weathered in the car world and you've been building for a little while and you now have the knowledge and the skills and the connections to do more of the advanced things to your car, part of your job is to actually embrace that racer, right? So you have to teach that racer what you've learned, because when you started, right, you didn't know everything. None of us knew half the things that we know now when we started. Okay? So whether you started when you were really young or started just after you turned 16 or 17 and got your first car, it makes no difference. Where you are now, you've learned something. So your job is now to help teach. Okay? And so along with teaching, you need to encourage them to build greater things. You need to inspire, right? So you have to start showing them the different opportunities, because when someone first starts, they don't see all of the things that you can do to a car. Somebody who's just starting probably has no idea what in the heck a big cam is. All right, if you're getting your first car, you have no idea what cams are, how they work, or any of that. You know that if you put a bigger exhaust, your car's going to sound louder, and if your car sounds louder, you'll sound like the rest of the car culture, right? Because we all have loud cars. So you have to teach them some of the more advanced things that come with building engines. And with that, give them good advice, right? So talk with them when they show up to a meet. Talk with them and ask them kind of what their goals are. And if they have no idea, help them out, man. Just help them. That's what they need, right? They need help. Show them the way. Be their guardian angel, right? You gotta kind of take them under your wing so that they can learn, so that they can teach the next guy. Like, I guess it's the same idea as like being a parent. Like, you're trying to teach the next generation so that the legacy can continue, all right? Because we don't want car culture to die. It's too big. It's a huge part of our lives. Like, if you're watching this video, I'm gonna guess you're probably a car enthusiast, and you love cars. You love working on them. You love listening to them, driving them, and looking at them, and talking with other people about them. So you have to help mold the next generation, right? So that is your job if you are not a racer, okay? For the other side, if you're watching this and you're kind of thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm definitely a racer, okay? That's all right, man. You know, it's all part of maturing within the car hobby, right? So this is your job. If you are a racer, what you need to go do is make as many friends that are non-racers as possible. You need to go to a meet and go find the guy with just a nice quality setup, because oftentimes he's hanging around his car. Go talk with him and try and learn as much as you can. All right, make that friendship, build those relationships with people, and those people will start to teach you. I sure hope so. If they don't, shame on them. Really, basically, your job is to learn as much as you can. Just keep trying to learn new things, and as you learn new things, more opportunities are going to show up, and your builds will slowly become cleaner and better and faster, and you'll morph your way out of being a racer, and then it's your job to teach the next racer because you've been there. So one thing, just so you know, if you're the racer listening to this, some people are going to be jerks. There are plenty of jerks out there in the car world. Lots of people are just not nice. That's the world, man. And you're just gonna have to look past it, all right? A lot of people are gonna give you crap about your build, no matter what you do. Like, you could build an absolute monster, right? And it could be clean, and somebody will still find something to hate on about your build. That's how it goes, and you just live with it, man. Like, you built it for you, right? And so, but remember, there's plenty of genuine people out there, and when you're building cars and you're making those friendships, you'll find the genuine people. Just when you go to car meets, look around for good vibes, find the groups of people that are chatting about real stuff. All right? Find those people. And I promise you, you will enjoy the entire car scene. All right? You will learn to love every little bit of it, its flaws, and you'll go a lot further with your builds. And my last note to you, if you are the ricer, just keep learning and working, and just so you know, it is a very, very long and expensive road. All right, so take your time, learn as much as you can, and do what you can with what you got. So that is my spiel on why the ricer is important to car culture, and I want to thank you and hope that you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, tickle that subscribe button and go ahead and go check out the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/BradyBuilds with the Z. And you know what? Go ahead and leave me a comment down below of how you got started in the car enthusiast realm. So kind of give me a little story about how you got started and what the car scene has been like for you. All right, I would love to hear your story.